Hello everyone, this is Daughter Darkness, and today I just wanted to talk about time travel in Kingdom Hearts. And I kind of wanted to explain sort of how it works. And I'm talking specifically the time travel that was introduced in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. I'm not talking about the doors and all that weird stuff from Kingdom Hearts 2, the version that was used by Sora, Riku and Xehanort in Dream Drop Distance. I've seen the odd explanation done before, but I kind of wanted to lay it out in a different way, just to make it sort of as simple as possible. Kind of like a WikiHow entry or something. I think that the reaction to the use of time travel in Dream Drop Distance is almost overwhelmingly negative, and I think that it's a bit of an overreaction, especially when people talk about it messing up the story or whatever, because, I'll explain why. And I'll say that my information for this video comes primarily from Dream Drop Distance itself, but also in part from the Ultimania of Kingdom Hearts 3D, which I recommend reading, and I'll leave a link to the interview that's on KH Insider, and I'll leave that in the description below the video. And one point is that this obviously is very limited in terms of how far forward or back you can go using time travel. But yeah, let's just get started. So, you want to time travel, do you? Well, there's this 5-step process of how to time travel in Kingdom Hearts. So let's go. Step 1. You need a very powerful person. It's never been specifically stated, but we can assume that an extremely powerful Keyblade Master, or former Keyblade Master, with a lot of magical ability is needed to time travel, such as Yen Sid or Xehanort. So that's fairly straightforward, you need one of those. Step 2. You need to leave your body. Your body cannot travel back in time with you, it's purely done by your heart, which means that you have to give up your body so that you can move backwards or forwards in time. In Kingdom Hearts this can be done in a multiple number of ways. You can enter the realm of sleep, where you obviously aren't tied to your physical body, which is what Sora and Riku do, or if you're like Master Xehanort and like to do things a bit more drastically, you can turn yourself into a Heartless. Although in that case, generally you need to be very powerful to be able to keep your mind while you're Heartless, which is something that so far only Sora and Xehanort have been able to achieve. Step 3. You have to find your past self. You can only travel to a place where you already exist. A version of you needs to be at the destination as well as the source. For example, Sora and Riku could only go to Destiny Islands on the day that it fell to darkness because they were both there, and Ansem could only meet up with young Xehanort because, well, obviously young Xehanort is a younger version of Xehanort. In most cases, your past body has to be used as a vessel. For example, Sora and Riku have to sort of take control of their younger selves while they're in the realm of sleep, but because Xehanort is able to control himself as a Heartless, his Heartless form in the brown-robed man, i.e. Ansem, was able to exist alongside the younger version of himself. And this allowed him to do a little bit more than most people can, because he was able to inform young Xehanort of what had happened and what was going to happen, and grant him a Keyblade that would allow him to also have the ability to travel through time and also control time to some extent. However, while you're in the past, you cannot change history. Your actions are very strictly limited. You can potentially influence yourself a little bit. Young Xehanort talks about the fact that now that he has heard what's going to happen, he will live out the course fate has in store for him. But once this whole event is done, they will not remember any of it. The younger version of yourself will forget that it ever happened. And now I can say that at the end of Step 3, if you aren't an evil mastermind who plans to gather up 13 vessels to fill with darkness and cause a huge war and take control of Kingdom Hearts, then you can skip to Step 5. However, if you are, Step 4, you have to bring your old self forward. Now that your body has already been given up, Xehanort in particular was a bit freer in what he could do. Because he was able to control himself without a body, he could bring his past body to the present, We don't know exactly how long you can do this for, but it is quite clear that it's temporary. You cannot bring them back forever, so it can't be used as an age cure or something, although Master Xehanort could probably do with one. You can extend the time by going to places where time flows a bit differently, such as the Realm of Sleep, which obviously worked for Sora, Riku and Xehanort. And if, like Xehanort, you're in the position of having multiple different bodies scattered throughout the past, then you can bring back more than one. But obviously, the destination again, there has to be a version of you there. For example, the returning Master Xehanort that we see in Dream Drop Distance, and they can exist semi-independently from it. The bodies are completely separate, but again, it's only for a limited time. And you are tied to the current self, so if Master Xehanort were to be killed, while all of these past versions of himself were there, they would be forced back to the past, as they are anyway because they run out of time. Because Xehanort's case is a little bit unique, we don't know if he would have maybe been able to keep his past selves in the present with him after he unified the 13 Darknesses and obtained the Keyblade, but since that's a hypothetical that we don't really know about, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. And as a note, these characters are not back from the dead. They have essentially been temporarily plucked from their past time, some point in their past timeline, but this is only temporary. Their pasts have not changed. Once their time is up, they will return back to their own time, live out the remainder of their life, and then eventually get defeated, usually by Sora. Now, step 5, you can return to how things were before. Once you've achieved whatever you wanted to in the past, whether it was the educational purposes that Sora and Riku were in the past for, or the want to take over the universe purposes that Xehanort was there for, you can return to your present day body and then move on with your life. In Dream Drop Distance, this is complicated a bit by Xehanort. Riku and Sora return to the present without becoming older again, which is partially because of the questionable existence of the world that never was, also because of Xehanort's infiltration that forced Sora into a second sleep before he could come out into the real world. Riku, being tied to Sora's sleep and effectively being a Dream Eater of him, was able to remain in that form while Sora slept. You also need to have magic to restore yourself to your original body, which Xehanort could probably do himself, but Sora and Riku aren't quite knowledgeable to do, so they needed Yen Sid. Once they returned to the mysterious tower, he was able to restore their original forms. So, as a recap, Step 1, get a powerful person. Step 2, leave your body. Step 3, find your past self. Step 4, bring your old self forward. Step 5, return to normality. So this is time travel, this is how it works. I hope I've been able to explain it satisfactorily, and how it works, and really how limited it is. Because, you know, I see people go on about how time travel could be used to do these amazing things. Well, it really can't, because the version that exists in Kingdom Hearts 3D, it may end up getting changed later on, but for now, it can't. It can only really be used for one purpose, and that's heavily reliant on Xehanort himself. Because of it, we have 13 Seekers of Darkness. And that is all that it's really left as an imprint on the Kingdom Hearts universe. So I don't really understand the notion that it messed everything up, because I don't think the existence of the 13 Seekers of Darkness even close to does that. But anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. So please comment your thoughts on time travel. If you still need something clarified, then I'll try to do that if you ask in the comments. While you're down there, please like this video if you did, and if you liked it, then check out my other videos and subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you for watching.